Welcome back. I'm Tedward, and today, thanks to Bond Group in Waltham, Massachusetts, we're driving a 1996 Porsche 911 Carrera RS. This is basically the GT3 of the 993 generation, the last of the Air Cooled, and we've had these on the channel before. We've driven two silver ones, now we've got this gorgeous red one with the biplane wing and the cozy seats. I think this one has the extended range fuel tank, and it's also signed by Walter Roll. It has a 3.8 liter naturally aspirated flat six with larger intake valves to help it breathe. It makes about 300 horsepower and weighs just under 2,800 pounds. And while I think I'm still partial to the 964 RS, the 993 RS is quickly becoming one of my favorite road going cars at all. It is so much fun to drive. This 3.8 liter is outrageously dialed. It has torque basically everywhere with its Variocam engine, and it's just so handsome. I don't know that everybody gets behind this big wing, but I certainly do, and I think it's really fun. Gluing us to the road on these gorgeous 18-inch RS wheels are a 225 section tire up front and a 265 in the rear. And because we've driven this car and fully reviewed similar examples, this video, I just really want to drive it and show you around and let you enjoy the sights and sounds. Because sometimes people are like, hey, I just want to hear it. Well, this one's for you. Very typical looking air-cooled setup here with your AC here, your big old fan with a belt, and I love the Variocam on this intake runner in the Carrera font. It looks very cool. And then to show you the extended range fuel tank and the signature, got to pop this open. There's no struts on the RS in the effort of lightweight. You get a strut bar across there. There's the big fuel tank, and then under here there's Walter Roll's signature, so that'll add a little bit to the value. There's no struts, but you do need to use this guy if you're gonna put the bonnet up. A little bit of storage. I'm just using it for some detailing spray and the floor mats. So there you go. It's cool that these came with a factory cutoff for the battery. It tells you that it was track ready. And this one also differs from the silver car that we drove earlier because this one has the cozier, comfier seats instead of the more extreme looking buckets. So anyway, let's start it up, get a sound of this exhaust, and go for a drive. 993s always do this crazy brake thing where you feel the brake pedal move a little bit. Oil pressure is what you want to see. Happy about that. There you go. The best flat six experience you're going to get out of an air cooler. At least in a road car that isn't some crazy race thing. Typical 5-gauge setup with your fuel, your oil level. We've checked the oil level on the dipstick. We're good to go. So regardless of what that says, I'm not too concerned. Temperature for oil and oil pressure. Big old tack. Wish this was still a thing in modern 911s. Unfortunately, they're going to screens. And this was a Japanese Mizuwa car, so that's why this is in kilometers per hour. Your clock, radio, all the goods. Red seat belts will definitely appeal to many of the modern Porsche buyers. And your 6-speed manual, it's basically an evolution of the G50 transmission, and you even get a little Porsche emblem down here. And despite being a lightweight thing, it does have power windows, which we'll play with because it's a little chilly today. It's not nearly as cold as it was when we drove the silver car. These are power steering cars, so the steering is relatively light. Makes it very easy to maneuver at low speeds. But it's hydraulic, of course. There's still not a lot between you and the road, so you feel everything you need to feel. second mark. Annoying to have to go over speed bumps, but it's always a good test to make sure that these cars don't rub. So if you were thinking about like buying one of these in the real world, is it going to be usable? Yeah, at least you can do the thing without needing some sort of front axle lift system that was not yet available in cars in this era. I always forget this is a 6-speed. I'm so used to 5-speed G50s that I have to like genuinely be like, wait a minute. That seems like too high a revs for cruising speed in this car, and it is. And there's a 6-speed, and it's wonderful because now at like 65, 70 miles an hour, you're only turning like 2,400 RPM. It's fantastic. It's a really addicting engine. There's a lightness that comes with it too. You know it's got power, but you can tell that it's not the power necessarily that's doing the work. It's the lack of weight that's doing some of the work for you here. And that sensation shows really true in the 911R. When you drive a 911R versus, say, the facelifted 991.2 GT3 Touring, the 911R just like really shines through as having this sort of go-karty light feeling. Part of it's the gearing, because it's a little bit shorter, but also I do genuinely believe that some of the lightweight tactics that Porsche took in that car just contribute to a feel that's like nothing else. And it's really special to find a car that rewards you like a race car, but doesn't beat you up like a race car. That's I think, the greatest thing about these Carrera RSs. And why Steve Serio of Bond Group, he always kind of makes an analogy between these and 356s, like speedsters and things, because there really is sort of like a hardcore edge to it, but it's also softened enough that you can just enjoy it whenever, wherever, however. If that doesn't sell you on one of these cars, I just don't know what will. This is one of the purest, greatest, old school driving experiences in a somewhat modern car. And yeah, will it keep up with a modern GT3? Probably not. Will it keep up with my Type R? Honestly, probably not. The Type R is stupid fast. But this is where we need to talk about driving experience and driving feel over speed. Speed is a contributing factor, but it is not everything. And this is why I genuinely believe if a company like Ferrari, let's say, who really dedicates all their time and energy to racing and building the latest, greatest thing, would go back in time a little bit and build us a mid-engine 350 or 400 horsepower V8 with a manual transmission that doesn't set any lap times around the Nürburgring. It's not out to look for records. It's just there to be a special car that you can drive and enjoy. They would sell like gangbusters. We've lost the plot, and the reason that a car like this commands prices around, the $400,000 mark is because you can't get it anymore. You can't get this experience. Yes, it's rare because they didn't make that many of these, but the reality is just that this car feels special, and it feels special from Porsche. This isn't somebody's Frankenstein build. This is like the real deal from the giant engineering team that made it perfect, and it just hits right. It's authentic. It's great. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed some of the sights and sounds from this little video. I hope it helps keep some of the analog dreams alive. And you don't have to go spend 400 grand on a Carrera RS to get that feeling. There are other ways, obviously. I did not spend $400,000 on my 88 911. But if you have the means, this is the ticket. Thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one.